Blackheads are one of the most common forms of acne, and preventing them usually has much more to do with patience, consistency, and gentle daily habits than with harsh scrubbing or dramatic quick fixes. A blackhead forms when oil, dead skin cells, and debris collect inside a pore, and the surface of that clogged material is exposed to air, which makes it darken. So the main goal is to reduce buildup while keeping the skin barrier calm instead of irritated. A gentle routine is usually the most dependable routine. Wash your face with a mild cleanser and lukewarm water in the morning and again at night. And if you sweat heavily after exercise, yard work, or a long, humid day, it makes sense to cleanse afterward in a gentle way, instead of letting sweat, oil, sunscreen, and residue sit on the skin for hours. What usually does not help is washing your face over and over throughout the day, rubbing hard with rough cloths, grinding gritty scrubs into the skin, or treating blackheads as if they were dirt that can simply be polished away with force. Too much friction often leaves the skin red, tight, and irritated, while the clogged pores remain right where they were. It is also important not to squeeze, pinch, scrape, or try to dig out blackheads with fingernails or random tools at home, because that can increase inflammation and may leave marks or scars that last much longer than the original problem. Choose skincare, sunscreen, makeup, and hair products that are labeled non-comedogenic, oil-free, or water-based when possible, because heavier, oily products can worsen congestion. If you use waxes, pomades, or rich leave-in hair products, try to keep them away from the forehead, temples, and sides of the face, because those areas often react badly to residue. Remove makeup completely before bed, change pillowcases and face towels regularly, and try not to spend the whole day pressing your cheek into your hand while reading, scrolling, or watching television. If your skin tolerates active ingredients, salicylic acid can help loosen dead skin and reduce pore buildup. And adapalene can also be useful because it helps prevent pores from clogging over time, but the wise approach is to start slowly, use one main active product at a time, and stay steady rather than trying several strong products in one impatient weekend. A lightweight moisturizer can still help even if your skin is oily, because irritated, dehydrated skin often becomes harder to manage, and sunscreen matters too, especially if you use exfoliating or retinoid-type products, so finding a comfortable, lightweight sunscreen is worth the effort. Improvement often takes time, so think of blackhead prevention as maintenance rather than battle. If your skin is easily irritated, less is often more. If a product consistently makes your skin feel greasy, sticky, itchy, or more congested, simplify your routine and give your skin time to settle. If you wear makeup often, fully removing it at night is a simple habit that can make a real difference over time. Calm, regular habits usually help more than dramatic bursts of effort. And if acne becomes painful, deep, widespread, or starts leaving scars or dark marks, it is much smarter to get help from a clinician than to keep improvising in frustration. Now that the sensible skin part is complete, let us leave the bathroom mirror behind and travel to a retirement community in the American Midwest, where nobody cared much about clogged pores, but everybody cared intensely about banana bread, lawn chairs, and whether a grown man over 80 should ever say the sentence, "I still have my sea legs," when he had never in fact owned any sea legs at all. The place was called Brierwood Landing, a retirement community just outside Madison, Wisconsin, where the sidewalks were broad, the porches were generous, the hanging baskets were watered by at least 4 people every morning, whether they needed it or not, and the community hall always smelled like coffee, lemon polish, and whatever somebody had baked while pretending it was only because the bananas looked too far gone to save. The unofficial queen of Brierwood Landing was 76-year-old Margaret Delaney, a retired school office manager with silver hair pinned neatly at the back, reading glasses on a chain, and the kind of calm expression that could stop nonsense in its tracks before nonsense even found a chair. Her closest friend was 82-year-old Russell Grady, widower, former owner of a hardware and building supply store, wearer of soft plaid shirts and suspenders patterned with tiny anchors, and a man who believed that weak coffee, vague instructions, and decorative rope were the first 3 warnings of collapse. Their regular circle included Gloria Pike, former beauty salon owner and sworn enemy of drab colors, Milton Reeves, retired accountant and lifelong defender of exact totals, clear labels, and good clipboards, June Holloway, former church pianist and reigning monarch of Lemon Loaf, and Norman Bell, who always said he wanted no part in public foolishness, and then somehow ended up doing the most foolish part in the most public place. The youngest person in the orbit was Sadie, the activities director, 33 years old, bright, kind, competent, and just trusting enough to believe that community recreation package probably meant shaded seating and bottled water. That belief ended on a clear June morning when she came into the hall holding her phone with both hands and wearing the particular face of a woman who had just discovered that optimism has consequences. Margaret looked up from arranging paper napkins beside the coffee urn and said, "Tell us now before my sympathy finishes buttering something." Sadie swallowed. "I thought I booked us spectator wristbands for the Lake Day fundraiser." Russell lowered his newspaper. "That sentence is too harmless. What did it really do?" Sadie turned the screen around. Across the top, beneath a cartoon life preserver, a smiling fish, and a banner of red, white, and blue bunting, were the words, "Welcome Brierwood Landing to the annual Cardboard Boat Regatta and Community Float Parade." There was a silence so full it seemed to sit down with them. Gloria leaned in first. "The annual what regatta?" Sadie closed one eye, like a woman briefly considering flight. "The Cardboard Boat Regatta," she said. "I thought float parade meant decorative viewing platform. Apparently it means actual boat. Built from cardboard, team entry, timed race across the lake. Brierwood Landing is the featured senior team." Russell stared at the phone as though it had insulted timber. Milton took off his glasses. June set down her coffee. Norman made one sound halfway between a laugh and a groan and said, "Well, now this is worth being alive for." It got worse immediately. The town had already posted that Brierwood Landing would be bringing wisdom, creativity, and unsinkable spirit to the fundraiser. Families had shared it. One grandson had commented, "Grandma Mag's better captain that thing." A local boat rental owner had replied, "Seniors always outsmart the water." The event coordinator had emailed asking whether Brierwood preferred the patriotic docking zone or the floral docking zone. "Can we cancel?" Margaret asked. Although the shape of her voice suggested she already knew the answer, involved public embarrassment and a woman saying absolutely no pressure while laminating their booth sign. Sadie winced. "The schedule is printed. The parade lineup is posted. The radio station mentioned us this morning. They said they were especially excited because older adults always understand teamwork and practical construction." That was the end of escape. No one at Brierwood Landing had any secret wish to spend Saturday paddling a cardboard boat in front of half the county. No one wanted to wear a life vest while children shouted advice from shore. But no one wanted to be the retirement community that withdrew after being publicly described as practical. "Absolutely not," said Gloria. "We are not letting this town think seniors are afraid of cardboard." "Or water," June added. "Or construction," Russell said with sudden offense. "If there's one thing we're not frightened of, it's badly explained construction." That settled it. Within 20 minutes, the community hall had transformed from ordinary coffee hour into emergency nautical operations disguised as hospitality. Margaret became captain because she was the only person in the room whose face still looked like weather could be negotiated with. Russell took boat design because he knew materials, joints, tape, braces, load balance, and the moral difference between waterproofing and wishful thinking. Milton opened a legal pad and wrote regatta operations in letters firm enough to survive dampness. Gloria seized decoration and team image because, if we're going to sink, we are not doing it in bad color. June took refreshments because nobody builds sensibly on an empty stomach. Norman, who had already announced he would under no circumstances set foot in a cardboard anything, was immediately assigned narrative and morale, which he said sounded like being drafted by a church picnic. The first design meeting was appalling. Sadie printed the official rules. Corrugated cardboard only. Duct tape, packing tape, latex paint, and approved sealant. No hidden flotation devices, no wood frame, no plastic tubs, no metal supports, no motors, no inflated items, no cheating with kayak parts, and no pre-built pontoons disguised as craft. Well, Russell said, that eliminates every good idea. Then he sat down with a pencil, a paper plate, and the concentration of a man who had once fixed a screen door in freezing rain and did not appreciate being underestimated by paper. What we need, he said, is not speed, it's dignity and forward motion. That sounds like aging, June said. Exactly, Russell replied. The boat would be wide, shallow, and stubborn. 2 paddlers, 1 decorative front panel. No heroics. Heroics are how people get wet and then interviewed, he said. The name came from Gloria, naturally. She looked at Russell's sketch and the little paper plate rudder marker and said, "We are calling it the Unsinkable Mildred." "Why Mildred?" asked Milton. "Because it sounds like a woman who has survived weather, disappointment, and 1 bad son-in-law," Gloria said. Nobody could improve on that. So, the Unsinkable Mildred it became. Construction began that afternoon in the rec room because the weather outside was too humid for glue, and because older adults build better when coffee is nearby. Donated appliance boxes appeared. So did retired engineers, 1 former Cub Scout leader, 2 women with scissors so sharp they had to be morally licensed, and 1 widower from Building C who announced he was just looking, and then spent 3 straight hours cutting support braces with the focus of a neurosurgeon. Russell turned dictatorial in the best possible way. More tape there. Not decorative tape, structural tape. Nobody stand on that. Don't lean on the bow, it's still becoming a bow. Milton measured everything twice. June distributed cookies in intervals she called morale rations. Gloria painted the name on the side in big, elegant script and added 2 blue waves for emotional confidence. Norman sat in a folding chair claiming his knees were observers only, then contributed 6 of the best one-liners of the entire week and accidentally became the official speaker for their launch ceremony. By Thursday, the whole community knew. Residents who had no intention of going to the lake came down to watch, advise, hover, and tell stories about boats they had once trusted too much. A former Navy mechanic adjusted the paddle grip. A widow from Building B brought waterproof ribbon, for cheer, and not for engineering. Don't confuse me. A retired art teacher painted a little smiling gull on the prow, which Russell said was structurally unnecessary, and Gloria said was the only reason the boat had any future at all. Friday morning, they did the first flotation test in the therapy pool with 2 mop handles and 1 deeply unwilling Russell sitting on a folding crate, while 3 people held their breath and 1 chaplain quietly pretended not to be there, on purpose. The boat floated, it drifted, it tilted. It did not instantly die. That was enough to turn anxiety into dangerous hope. Then came the question of who would actually paddle. Margaret had the calm head, Russell had the construction knowledge. Both were drafted immediately. Russell objected on the basis of knees, shoulders, logic, and fairness. Margaret objected on the basis of dignity. Their objections were ignored because every room eventually gets tired of adults auditioning for escape. "You built it," Gloria told Russell. "You are not sending somebody else into your paper coffin." Saturday arrived hot, bright, and completely committed to spectacle. The lakefront fundraiser looked like summer had hired a committee. There were food stalls, balloon arches, local bands, children in foam hats, volunteers in neon shirts, and a long line of ridiculous cardboard vessels awaiting launch. One was shaped like a dragon, one like a giant ear of corn, one like a patriotic barbecue grill. One team from the fire department had made a boat shaped like a hydrant, which everyone agreed was both unfair and ugly. "Good," said Gloria. "I prefer obvious enemies." The Brierwood Landing crew rolled the unsinkable Mildred toward the dock on a borrowed garden wagon, while half the town looked on with the pleased, faintly nervous interest people reserve for either weddings or physics demonstrations. The local announcer, a radio man with a voice built for livestock, weather panic, and county pie contests, welcomed them over the loudspeaker. "And here comes our featured senior entry from Brierwood Landing." The crowd applauded warmly. Children pointed. A man in a Bass Pro Shop visor said, "That's actually a pretty clean build." Russell heard that and stood 2 inches taller. The race rules were simple. Paddle from the near dock to the orange buoy, circle it, and return. Fastest dry team wins. Fastest wet team gets a sympathy coupon. Best decorated boat earns separate honors. "We are not racing for speed," Russell said for the 9th time. "We are racing for survival and a respectable return trajectory." Margaret got into the boat first with the expression of a woman stepping into a story she fully expected to resent and later retell. Russell followed with more muttering than balance. The boat dipped, held, wobbled, and then steadied. The crowd cheered. Norman, who had somehow acquired a borrowed megaphone without consultation, shouted, "Bring her home, Mildred!" The first few strokes were not elegant, but they were effective. The boat moved. The crowd cheered louder. At the Dragon Boat Lane, a teenager lost a paddle and public confidence. The corn boat was too proud to steer. The fire hydrant boat was fast but unstable. The unsinkable Mildred, by contrast, moved like exactly what Russell had built. Not flashy, not young, not reckless, just broad, decent, and too stubborn to fail quickly. Halfway to the buoy, Margaret found her rhythm. Russell stopped trying to overpower the water and began negotiating with it. The boat cut a clean little line through the chop. People started chanting Mildred. A woman on the bank yelled, "Go, Grandma," though it was unclear whose grandmother she meant. Then, because county festivals are allergic to endings that make sense, a small problem developed. The decorative gull on the prow, beloved but structurally innocent, loosened in the breeze, tipped sideways, and began flapping against Russell's shoulder like a guilty omen. He tried to ignore it. It slapped him twice. Margaret saw it, began laughing, and nearly lost a stroke. The crowd, naturally, lost its mind. "The bird is loose," someone shouted. "No one say that louder," Russell barked back, now fighting both water and mascot. He grabbed the gull with one hand, jammed it under his arm, and kept paddling. The lakefront exploded. The announcer could barely breathe. Even competing teams were laughing. The whole absurdity should have sunk them. Instead, it made them legendary. They rounded the buoy with the gull tucked under Russell's elbow like a hostage, and came back in glorious, ridiculous triumph. They did not win fastest time. The fire department still had too much practice and not enough humility. But Brierwood Landing won Best Decorated Boat, Best Team Spirit, and what the announcer immediately invented as the Heroic Anti-Seagull Award. More importantly, they reached shore dry enough to count, and laughing so hard they could barely climb the dock ladder. The town adored them. Children wanted photos with Mildred. A local reporter asked Russell if the gull trouble had been anticipated in design. "No," he said, deadpan. "That was an aviation failure." The committee chair, breathless with delight, then announced a surprise crowd vote final between the hydrant boat and the unsinkable Mildred for the overall People's Choice title. Norman took the megaphone again before anyone could stop him. "Ladies and gentlemen," he cried, "one boat may symbolize municipal plumbing, but only one boat has shown grace under bird pressure." The crowd screamed. Gloria nearly sat down from joy. The vote was not close. Brierwood Landing won. They were handed a silver life preserver trophy on a wooden base, a gift card for community activities, and the kind of applause that makes older adults look momentarily younger